G'day and welcome back to the channel, Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginger Ninja and these are my movie reviews. Now, if you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. It truly is appreciated. And it's a new year, or at least it is in Australia. So we're celebrating it with a bit of New Year's Evil from 1980. But before we get into that, I do want to say a big thank you to all my new and existing subscribers. My goal was to hit 1,000 subscribers by New Year's Eve, and I did that. So I do want to take the moment to say thank you to each and every single one of you. Of course, I'm not going to name names, but thank you. So yeah, look, let's get into this one because, it's New Year's Day here in Australia, and, future me is probably nursing a significant hangover. So let's get into this. Directed by Emmett Alston, this film came out in 1980. It stars Roz Kelly, Kip Niven, Chris Wallace, Grant Kramer, and many more. Now, the plot. During a New Year's Eve celebration, a Los Angeles disc jockey receives a phone call saying that when New Year's strikes in each time zone, someone will be murdered, and she will be the last one. I know, it's another New Year's Eve horror film, but New Year's Evil was one of those early 80s slashers that attempts to capitalize on the burgeoning slasher trend of the late 70s and 80s with a unique holiday themed premise. And to be honest, we're starting to see a bit of a resurgence of that, obviously with Thanksgiving being one of the major ones recently. But this one is obviously centered around New Year's Eve. Now, if you're looking for a quirky time capsule of early 80s horror, this might just be your ticket. It's a slasher film that, while not particularly groundbreaking, has its own peculiar, cheesy charm, and it offers an interesting peek into the era's culture and style. So let's get ready to ring in another killer new year with New Year's Evil. All right, so kicking it off with the cast, and look, most of the characters, including our main protagonist, are underdeveloped. As an audience, we are given very little reason to empathize with them, which weakens our emotional investment. Roz Kelly's character Blaze is supposed to be the central figure, but her character is surprisingly bland, and she spends much of the movie reacting to events rather than driving the narrative forward. And without spoiling too much, one of the odd choices made by the filmmakers is revealing the killer's face very early on. Now, this is very different from the mask killer cliche. We saw that in Terror Train where they keep the killer masked. You don't see his face. This is very different. It is very different from that. And to be honest, it does work because it gives it more of a serial killer feel, such as I guess from the era of the 80s, like the Zodiac killer Richard Ramirez, things like that. But it also deflates a lot of the suspense, leaving some viewers feeling a run-of-the-mill psycho rather than a shadowy figure of terror. And that's not to say the cast overall didn't do a good job. By no means. They do excel at their roles. They just don't have a lot to work with. Now on to the directing and the writing. And get comfy because there's a lot to go through here. The movie is drenched in 80s kitsch and leather jackets, big hair, and a new wave punk soundtrack that's both ridiculous and oddly entertaining. It gives off that low budget DIY energy that fans of the era will appreciate. And I'm always a fan of that effort that people put into their films. I love that. You feel it in the film. And this, 100%. The glam punk-esque, I guess, I don't know what you call it, new wave. The costumes and the blaring synth-heavy soundtrack still, it adds all to this eclectic mix. And for fans of cult horror, the cheesy dialogue and dated aesthetic provide that unintentional charm that can be enjoyable, in a almost so bad it's good way. Not saying this is bad, I'm just saying it has that so bad it's good feel to it. The film does reveal the identity of the killer early on, removing that mystery element that often drives slasher films. I felt this was a very interesting choice by the filmmakers, as it was far removed from what was, and still is, one of the main draw cards for the slasher genre, the unmasking of the killer. They do keep that in there somewhat when you find out who the killer actually is, but I won't spoil that for you. What seems to be a common theme is the pacing, particularly around the halfway mark. The movie drags in the middle with long stretches of the killer's escapades feeling somewhat repetitive. You want him to get to the next part. You just want to move on. And as I said, it's rather repetitive than thrilling. Now, this may be due to the fact that we do see his face. So he is a pivotal character and he is written as such. But along with a narrative that follows a very formulaic structure without significant twists until the third act, makes it easy to anticipate key developments. Now onto the effects. And look, even by 1980s standards, the kills lack creativity and impact. The effects are minimal and they fail to deliver the visceral punch expected from a slasher film. Some of the kills, they are creative, but they lack the hit that's needed or the splattering of blood and gore that would have taken this to the next level. It feels more along the lines of a thriller than a slasher due to this, but you know, even though it is firmly planted within the horror slasher realm, it's missing the effects to take it to that next level. Now on to rewatchability, and look, with the severe lack of New Year's Eve horror themed films, or maybe there is a whole plethora of them that I'm unaware of, this may actually get a rewatch in the future. Yeah, it has flashes of great potential with a very intriguing premise, and like I said, going across time zones, that's part of the twist. But like I said, it has an intriguing premise and it has a lot of charm to it. But it doesn't really have anything to draw me back in straight away. You know, that little twist at the end, why don't we have a sequel to this? That would make me want to rewatch this one. This could have been the start of a very interesting franchise. So, final verdict. Look, New Year's Evil isn't a masterpiece, but it's fun in a cheesy, so bad it's good kind of way. Yeah, if you love low-budget 80s slashers, or you just enjoy indulging in 80s nostalgia, it's definitely worth a watch, especially as a quirky holiday treat. Yeah, for everyone else, it might just feel like a dated curiosity. If you go in expecting an atmospheric romp rather than edgy seat thrills, New Year's Evil can be a fun way to ring in your cinematic New Year. Overall, for a score, I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. And there you have it, New Year's Evil. Have you seen this film? What do you think of it? Let me know down below. Am I missing something? Like, is it actually better than I rated it? 6.5, still pretty good. Better than Terror Train, I reckon. Both have their merits, but I don't know. There is something missing from both of these films that really take it to that next level that it would need to be to. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Who knows? Let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. And look, if you haven't, please do hit that thumbs up button. It'd be much appreciated. And of course, subscribe to my channel. It's a new year, so we've got some stuff planned that's coming up. Obviously, if you watched yesterday's review of Terror Train, you'll know that I do have Franchise Fridays coming back. And what'll it be? Well, I don't know, because I'm recording this prior to the cutoff date. Cutoff date was yesterday, so it's either going to be Paranormal Activity or Tremors, but I'm guessing it's going to be Tremors, judging by the amount of votes that it's gotten so far. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be Paranormal Activity. I do want to get into that in the future at some point, but yeah, I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide which one. Obviously, we've also got one I'm looking forward to, Trashy Tuesdays. That will be coming back as of next week. I have some great trashy films lined up for the new year. I want to say it's going to be fun, but I know some of them are going to be really tough to sit through. Really tough. But they're going to be fun nonetheless. So yeah, looking forward to that. Anyway, look, I'm blathering on. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've had a great New Year's, and if you still to celebrate it, have a good New Year's, have a safe New Year's, and wishing you all the best for the new year ahead. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.